Hey everyone. Please support what I do to help keep Greyhawk alive by subscribing to the channel. Also, please consider becoming a channel member to get early access to videos, exclusive live chats, quarterly adventure modules, and more. Thanks, and enjoy the show. So the old TSR modules always yield new fruit when I look at them again from another angle, and I found something that I think is worth talking about today on Greyhawk Grognard. So I had occasion to look through my copy of Hall of the Fire Giant King, which is from 1978, I believe. It's one of the early modules Gary Gygax wrote, and obviously, everybody knows this is one of the most famous modules. The Fire Giants have been raiding the humans, and it's really Iclavdra and the Drow that are behind the raids, and then that leads off onto the Descent into the Depths of the Earth series and Vault of the Drow and all that. But I was reading through it on the and something occurred to me. Something leapt out at me here on the third level, and I want to walk you through this slowly because I think there's a lot to unpack in just a couple of rooms in this dungeon. So this is a close up of the third level of the Fire Giant dungeon, and the room I want to start off on is room 15. This is the Gray Cavern, right? And this is, according to the text, this dark-colored place is the Grow Strong Point, and two guards watch each of the six ways which meet at this cavern. And you can see in there, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sixth one, the one in the southeast corner facing east, is a stairway that goes up to the second level, and the guard room where there's were rats, where they guard the prisoners and so forth. But for in this particular room, in room 15, this is the gross strong point, and there are a total of um 12, 18 uh, guards plus commanders, plus three commanders, including a fourth, sixth level of fighter magic user. And um the thing here is it doesn't say specifically that these grow here uh, uh, are under Iclavdra's command. It doesn't not say it though. So my thinking is that this is sort of the beginning of where the Fire Giant King's domain ends, and the domain of the Drow and other underworld creatures begins. For reasons which will become a little more apparent in a second. Um, but it's again, this is all just speculation, because it's not actually called out in the text, and that's the best part of these modules is speculating based on what we do have, and that's a way for each DM to make it their own. That's part of its charm. Um, but what really gets me is first we've got room 16, the small cavern. And you can see there, that's the one right in the middle, that has the three arrows leading in. That's like a steel ball trap, like ball bearings come out of the walls and stuff. So, it's got a little defensive thing there. And this has more drow in there. There are 9 female drow in this place. Eight are fourth level fighters, which are the special guards. Um, but these 8 guards protect Nedeline, a cleric fighter noble generally opposed to anything Aklavdra attempts. She is here to check up on her rival, and she will be suspicious of any creature entering her current abode. On the other hand, she would not be adverse to seeing her rival's plans go wrong. Nedeline is an 8th level cleric, 7th level fighter, that in yada yada yada. Also got a demon staff, which is something we see in the Vault of the Drow later on too. Um, and this is the first key to me that something is going on this part of the map. Um, because here we have a Drow that is explicitly uh, against Iclavdra, and Iclavdra, of course, is the head of the faction of Drow who are worshiping the Elder Elemental God. And here we don't know if if Nedeline is part of Iclavdra's uh, entourage, and is just, she's an underling who doesn't like her boss? Or is this actually somebody from another noble house who's opposed to House Ileserves? We don't know because they don't give Medeline's family name, which is annoying. But it really does point out that there are, at least as of at this point, there are things going on here that Eclavdra is not completely in control of. And whether or not Eclavdra knows that Nedeline is here, or if she does, that Nedeline is opposed to her, is up to the DM to discover, to determine. Now we also have room 17, which is in the upper right hand corner, and room 17 is the jeweled cavern. Um, and but it is the current layer of three mind flayers who have decided to see what is going on with their friendly enemies, the Drow. They plan to observe events, and the Dark Elves ignore them. And then it's got the treasure that they have, and so we have another indication that this area of the dungeon is not in the Clouddra's control or Snur's control, because we're seeing now things that are absolutely objectively opposed to the Drow, who are allowed to remain here. Right, the Drow don't just go in and clean them out, probably because they're tough, three mind flayers. But we see here, we've got more indications that there are things going on here. And then we have room 18, that small cave. And that is a Drow guard room with a six level and six level, two fourth level, and six second level male fighters in there. And they're sentries, and they're basically guards. And so that could again be, are they part of uh, uh, Eclavdra's faction? Are they part of Nedeline's faction? We don't know. And then room 19 and 20, we have, this is where the river of lava flows. It's probably blocked off a little bit, but this is how you get into the descent into the depths of the Earth module. And basically, here we have more male Drow. Um, uh, One of whom is an eighth level fighter, particularly favored by Eclavdra. So we know that Eclavdra's influence is strong here, because one of her favored people is in charge of basically seeing who goes over and cross the river of lava. So we've got a lot going on here. Um, and the DM could do a lot with this, because we've got Nedeline, could be one of two things. We've got the mind flayers, who are obviously there by the sufferance of the Drow, because they don't get cleaned out, and they also, the Drow had to let them over the river lava at some point. And of course, they probably go back and forth because they want to communicate back to the mind flayer, higher ups and so forth. So the DM could do a lot of different things here. You could have this whole thing be a kind of a checkpoint that has been set up by uh, the Lolth worshipping Drow, who are trying to keep a check on what a Klavdra is doing. And but then Eclavdra has managed to sneak in that person in charge of the crossing of the river of lava as her own. So she's got somebody inside their attempt to kind of keep an eye on her. Or we could have this whole thing actually be officially part of Eclavdra's domain and under her command. But then you've got um, uh, what's her name, Nedeline, who is secretly eager to see her fail. um, so as the DM, you have all these different options and all these different ways you could play the pieces on the board. But all of this, remember, when you're running a module like this, and this goes for any of the giant or Drow modules, um, is that you have to give the players, the PCs, an opportunity to interact with the NPCs to learn all of this intricacy, right? If you just if your Drow just instantly attack every time they see the PCs, then the PCs are never going to be able to understand all this wonderful little nuance and stuff that's going on under the surface. You have to give them opportunities to interact with the drow, to find out what the drow are doing. Maybe Nedeline encounters them somewhere, because you never have things like this just static. They're not just going to be waiting in their cave. Well, the guards are. But somebody like Nedeline isn't just going to be waiting in her cave. She's there to observe and see things, and she's probably got a job somewhere. She's a cleric, and then of course raises another point: is she's a cleric of the Elder Elemental God, or is she a cleric of Lolth? We don't know. Or maybe there's some other drow deity that's at play here. That would throw a real monkey wrench into things. Um, or maybe even a human deity. Maybe she's a cleric of Beltar or something. You can go nuts with this kind of stuff if you wanted to. But the idea that if you have these factions and you have these turmoils bubbling under the surface, and this person is secretly working for this person, and this person is secretly opposed to that same person, and then who are these guards loyal to? Who are those guards loyal to? It really opens up a great opportunity to really expand and turn something that could just be a slugfest into a real role-playing extravaganza with all kinds of different options and stabbing and betrayals, and maybe Nedeline helps the PCs at one point. Maybe her and her guards take out some of the drow guards that are fighting them, and then they retreat to the shadows, and then the PCs don't know what the hell happened. There's all kinds of stuff you could do to get the PCs drawn into these conflicts. And there's just wonderful stuff in here. I picture, and this has never actually happened, but I can picture in my mind. Let's say the PCs have been successful, and they're routing the drow, and the drow are retreating over the river of lava, and they're chasing Eclavdra, but then Eclavdra's person stops it doesn't let the other drow who are opposed to Eclavdra cross. And you're like, it's the rope bridge and stuff like that. There's ways you can communicate this stuff more than just parlay. But whatever way you choose, you can have you have to give your PCs the opportunity to get involved in these and enjoy these kind of conflicts. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful and thought-provoking. Where you just a couple of rooms in a dungeon, and you can just kind of spin it off into all kinds of different ways because of the little crumbs that Gary Gygax left in there, and then you can just take those seeds and go wild with some of these encounters. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you all soon.
Thanks for watching today's video. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Below you'll find links to my Patreon, which helps make these videos possible. You'll also find the web store where you can buy my books, and my blog where you'll find all sorts of free downloads and other articles. Thanks, and have a great day.